Right. Morning, everybody. Yesterday, we updated you on the status of the repairs. This 24/7 operation, 250 full load trucks have now moved debris off the site. The debris removal will be complete in the next few days. We've continued to assess the samples. As I noted yesterday, the mayor and others noted the preliminary sample results were very positive. We had, however, some outstanding samples that went to the lab overnight, and very early this morning, we've got an update for you on the core samples. This were the samples particularly taken from the upper deck and the most disconcerting part of this operation. We made the determination that these samples, like the previous samples, also show promise. And that will put us in a position, allows us to make an announcement today that this will not be a demo, that we will not need to demolish and replace the I-10. We will continue the kind of repairs you're seeing being done behind me and continue a shoring plan to shore up this site. Again, 100 columns have been damaged, 9 or 10 severely, but that shoring work will continue 24/7, and it will allow us to reopen for traffic the I-10 in a matter of weeks. The estimate currently is 3 to 5 weeks. We're going to do everything in our power to move that into the more immediate future and not extend this to that 5-week period. Again, 24-hour operation, 7 days a week, rain or shine. But this is good news under the circumstance. And I've got to say, on the basis of the preliminary assessments, news that, frankly, a lot of folks, particularly the experts you see behind me, didn't expect to share. As I noted as late as yesterday evening, we were moving on a parallel path. We were determining not just a shoring framework and plan, but we were looking at getting some prefabbed large structures built in real time if the demo plan was going forward. But good news, appears now structural plan will allow us to do the surgical repairs. We'll get at least 4 of the 5 lanes open. There will be, as we get these lanes open, some nighttime repair work, so there'll be some periodic closures that folks will expect, but the key is to get these structures in a position where we can get cars and traffic moving again in the short term. Additional information, some of you had asked and requested yesterday as it relates to the ongoing investigation. There's no news, no update as it relates to identifying the individual or individuals responsible for this act, for this intentional act of arson. We did do some additional materials analysis. There were no surprises. Of all the hazmat material, nothing was highly contaminated on this site. We have dust contamination plans that are operational as we speak. There is a modest amount of contaminant, particularly lead, but that was derivative from the burning of the vehicles. There was no stored materials that were toxic and no surprises on site. So that will allow us to move forward with more aggressive debris removal in the next few days. Again, pallets, wood pallets, recycling materials, and cars, primarily operational cars and produce that were on site. I'll remind you that Apex Development, Inc. is the lessee. They have an unlawful detainer not only on this site, but I mentioned 4 other sites in the area. They now have unlawful detainer on all 5 of their sites. We brought down our legal team that is here, and we're looking at every conceivable pathway to move to expedite removal of this lessee on all the remaining sites. I continue to remind you the importance and the imperative and the work that's being done across this state, looking at similar leases, looking at similar safety concerns. That assessment continues, and again, as we get more information, we'll be sharing it with you. So 3 to 5 weeks, shoring work will continue. The bracing work you see behind me will move very quickly. And before I introduce the mayor, let me just reinforce some good news in that respect. The materials are all here for the bracing work. There's no supply concerns, no supply constraints. There's no workforce constraints. Contractors are on site, so we have all the component parts that we need. And we'll be also putting up, so you can track our progress. You can hold us to a higher level of accountability. As we noted yesterday, we have a new website to encourage people to go to, fixthe10.ca.gov, fixthe10.ca.gov. By Friday at the latest, we're putting poles up and cameras up. There'll be 3 to 4 camera angles so that you can watch this operation unfold again 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until this thing gets done. I'll close by reminding all of you that we're taking the lessons learned from the Northridge quake, lessons learned from other incidences across this country as it relates to contracting provisions and the incentive provisions. And that's why I'm confident when I say 3 to 5 weeks that I don't want to see that 5-week mark hit. I want to see something much faster, and I have all the confidence in the world, the men and women you see behind me, and the pace of their repairs already underway, that we can not only meet our goal, we can do a little bit better in terms of that 5-week date. So that's the update. Relatively good news considering the alternative, a full demo, which would have been many, many months. We were looking at that 5 to 6 month period as the alternative, 3 to 5 weeks now as the likely time before we get these lanes, minimum 4 lanes up and operational. Final point on that. The reason we say 4 to 5 is there'll be some surgical repair work that will be done on the upper deck over a period of time, particularly as it relates to some of the side deck work. You'll see some of the tubular structure up top that was bent and melted. There is a little bit longer supply chain requirement in terms of getting to that work as we get traffic open. With that, I know all of you want to see this. No one wants to see this traffic moving again more than the mayor of Los Angeles, our partner in this process, Mayor Karen Bass.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let me begin by thanking the governor for his leadership, for mobilizing everything that we need in order to get Los Angeles back to business. Let me just say that in the midst of our emergency, I know that the governor is welcoming an international conference in San Francisco later on today. And so in the midst of that, he's down here on the job, on the ready, making sure that we have everything we need to get back to normal. So, Angelenos, it's good news. The freeway will not have to come down. So instead of months, we are talking about weeks. As the governor mentioned, 3 to 5 weeks, but it's still 3 to 5 weeks in Los Angeles for this freeway not to be in operation. Now, we hope, as he said, there might be partial operation before that time, but we need to stay focused on, one, making sure that you stay informed about the traffic, making sure that you, if you work in a job where you can telecommute, please continue to telecommute. Stay on the freeways, follow your apps that will redirect you around. 300,000 commuters every day through this area. Our streets cannot take that amount, which is why we need you to stay on the freeway. But most important, something that we didn't have in 1994 is public transportation. We didn't have the technology that we have today. So there's no reason for this to be the disaster that it could be if people are not informed, do not telecommute, and do not take public transportation. I'm happy to say that the company that is working on this, third-generation company, Security Pavings, they were involved in 1994. They have experience at working around the clock. I was with them yesterday. They gave me a tour of the area. Considering what this looked like on Saturday and Sunday to today, they have already done a tremendous amount of work. The City Department of Transportation and Metro will continue to find creative ways to mitigate the impact of this on commuters and surrounding businesses. But through all of this, we need Angelenos to help. We need Angelenos to work together, to not turn against each other. I've already heard today of an instance of minor road rage. When there is traffic, Angelenos get angry. We need to stay connected to each other and turn toward each other and not against each other. We did this just a few months ago when we had what we were expecting to be a hurricane. That also could have been a traffic disaster, but it wasn't because Angelenos were informed and Angelenos stayed together. We need to do the same thing now. I want to say before I introduce our next speaker that we will be giving regular reports on traffic. At 6 in the morning every day there will be a briefing and we will keep you informed throughout the day. If it is text messages, if it is the alerts that come through, we'll make sure that Angelenos stay informed. 3 to 5 weeks is a long time for us, but this is good news. Repair instead of demolition and rebuilding the highway. Thank you very much, and let me introduce Gloria Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I'm Gloria Roberts, Caltrans District 7 Director. We appreciate all of you being here and helping us provide a status update on the progress of our bridge repair. As the Governor mentioned, crews have been hard at work around the clock in clearing the debris and shoring the structure. Our engineers are continuing to work as our goal remains to get the repairs done as quickly as possible and to open a safe roadway to travelers. We're fully committed to this. And until then, we ask for your continued patience. We have a website, as the Governor mentioned, that was activated yesterday, fixthe10.ca.gov. And that's fixthe10.ca.gov, where you can find the latest project updates, detour information, and links to transit options. We are very fortunate here in the city of Los Angeles that LA Metro operates a robust, safe, and reliable rail and bus transit system that provides a number of ways to travel to and around downtown LA through many parts and from many parts of LA County. There are also many other transit providers in our region, including LA DOT and other municipal bus lines, Metrolink Regional Rail, and Amtrak. And I encourage everyone to take advantage of these transit options. We at Caltrans thank Governor Newsom for his leadership and unwavering support. Thank you, Mayor Bass, and the entire City of LA team, including LAFD, LAPD, the Department of Water and Power, Emergency Management Department, and LA DOT for their care and response to this community. Our state family, Secretary Toksomashakan, and the California Transportation Agency, California Highway Patrol, and the State Fire Marshal, we thank you. Lastly, I want to thank Caltrans, our District 7 staff, who were here when the incident started, and all of the Caltrans team who came from Sacramento and across the state to provide assistance. Thank you, Caltrans Director Tony Tavares. We, all of us here, are proud to serve the people of California, and we take pride in District 7 to serve the city of Los Angeles. Thank you very much. And now we will be sharing this information in Spanish.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Eric Menjivar, soy vocero para Caltrans Distrito número 7. Quiero darle las gracias al gobernador y también a la alcaldesa Bass por todo su apoyo y también a todos ustedes para los anuncios al público. Como mencionó el gobernador, los equipos están trabajando el 24/7 removiendo toda la basura y también apuntalando el puente que está atrás de mí. Nuestros ingenieros están continuando trabajando y en asegurar que la integridad de la estructura está en una manera segura. Nosotros estamos cometidos a abrir a lo más pronto posible. Lo más importante es abrir en una manera segura para el público. Le estamos preguntando al público, por favor, por su paciencia sobre este proceso para hacer nuestras reparaciones. Lo bueno es que vivimos en Los Ángeles, que tiene un confiable sistema de buses y de tránsito público. Por favor, En estos tiempos que estamos haciendo nuestras reparaciones, usan el sistema público que tenemos como el Metro, el Metrolink y el Amtrak. Queremos también dar las gracias a nuestras agencias públicas que nos están apoyando sobre estas reparaciones. La ciudad de Los Ángeles, todas las agencias y los departamentos, también los departamentos estatales, la patrulla estatal, los bomberos estatales y también la agencia de transportación estatal. También queremos dar las gracias a nuestros trabajadores que están trabajando los 24/7. Este incidente es algo muy grave y todos vinieron de cada parte del estado para venir a asistir en este proyecto. Y también estamos orgullosos a servirlos al público. Muchas gracias y vamos a abrir. Thank you very much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions and answers now.
Yeah, 3 to 5 before we open it up back to traffic. Before we open it up back to traffic, it may or may not be full 5 lanes. Could be 4 to 5 lanes. Again, for the importance of emergency repairs on the upper deck. So don't want to overpromise that all 5 lanes will be open in 3 to 5 weeks, but we believe with confidence that 4 of the 5 lanes certainly will be, we're hopeful that all 5 lanes will be up and operational within 3 to 5 weeks. Yeah, in fact, I've got the experts here can talk about the shoring plan, the surgical repairs, the short term in order to get traffic moving, and then the long term, which they'll discuss.
So our path forward right now is to shore the bridge. First priority is public safety and the worker safety. We'll get significant shoring underneath to be able to open it to traffic. At that point, we'll be able to do a more detailed analysis of the columns. We do anticipate there'll be significant repairs to the columns and to the underside of the bridge, but we're confident that we could do that as traffic is flowing with some intermittent nighttime full closures.
Yeah. Well, Secretary Buttigieg reached out this morning. We had the Federal Highway Administrator Bott in yesterday doing the analysis. It's too soon to speculate on that. Here's the good news. I'll be seeing the president in a few hours. We'll be spending the next few days with President Biden. They're all in on whatever we need, and we're assessing those costs in real time and the partnership with the federal government in relationship to that. As soon as we get that preliminary data, we don't have that at the moment, we'll share it with you. But again, we just learned this morning on the basis of the new samples that came in that this is not a demo operation, it's a repair operation, so the cost will be significantly more modest than would otherwise have been borne with the demo.
No, I should know that by later today. We know anecdotally it seems like there's more, but I want concrete data. Absolutely. Well, we're meeting immediately after this with the head of Metro and our Department of Transportation to have a plan, and we will be able to announce that later.
But one thing the rain will not impact is the operation here. This is 24/7, 7 days a week. I want people to tune into that webcam live, hold us to a high level of accountability, get this thing done.
And Angelenos can expect another alert related to the rain.
Well, I want to see it. The answer is, could it be? Absolutely. Will it be? That's on the basis of, all of the hard work, the men and women you see behind me. Look, I have confidence in our ability to perform each and every milestone within the last few days. We've met or exceeded, and I have expectation that will be the case within this 3 to 5 week time frame. Absolutely. We're working on the details of that contract in real time. And we're looking, as I said, at the template of the Northridge contract and templates of other contracts to incentivize, and that's the operative word here, to incentivize the kind of behavior that we all want to see, which is time to delivery, but again, safety first. Safety first. Creativity, that's a big part of this. Innovation, move heaven and earth. The fact that all the materials are on site, the fact that we have all of those interim contracts secured and we're working on those larger contracts gives me confidence that we'll be able to exceed that goal. Yeah, and the details, again, are more challenged because of the operator themselves. I'll remind you that we will be in court January, late January or early February with this lessee because he illegally subleased this site to at least 5, maybe 6 sublessees. That is not inconsistent with his other leases. And so that's being determined in real time. But we have an unlawful detainer in all 5 of his leased properties. And we've got our legal team working to see what we can do to immediately evict again to the extent possible. But we will be in court. And as it relates to these sublessees, there were no surprises as it relates, again, to hazardous materials. It was what we had assumed, simple pallets, wooden pallets, metal, and other recycling materials, as well as operational cars. Again, no highly hazardous materials or contaminants were found on site. All of this will be cleaned up by the end of the week. Yeah, you may have heard my comments on this, and I'll reinforce them. The answer is yes, and that's been going on for a number of days now. There's thousands and thousands of leases across the state of California. Private lessees, public lessees. We have some very robust public partnerships all across the state for a myriad of different uses. So they're all being reviewed, and our inspection routines are being reviewed. And we are reviewing our budgets in relationship to the inspections, and we're making sure in partnership. Remember, these are done in partnership. There's a review committee for every lease. It includes the state fire marshal, and it includes the federal government. We're also reviewing that relationship with our federal government and federal partners in that respect as well. And as we get more information, as I said yesterday and the day before, as we get more information around those findings, we'll make them available to you and others. Anybody else?
Yes, we're going to be reaching out to all of these businesses, and then we're coming together with my Deputy Mayor for Business and Economic Development to talk about how we can support the businesses in this area. Fortunately, you can see it's a pretty much an industrial area, so it doesn't impact foot traffic. But yes, we will be talking to all of the business owners.
And if I just close with one final thing, because it is important. We need your help. Any information anybody has, we have a confidential tip line. It's 1-800-468-4408, 468-4408 for any information, any leads on this arson. We want to hold these folks accountable. We have some early leads on the basis of the businesses in the area and the cameras and the footage and witnesses. We have some preliminary information and leads, but we need more from the public. So anybody that has any information or tips, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.